Frida Kahlo, artist, icon, and a woman who meticulously crafted her own image. But beyond the paintings, there's a fascinating story of how she used photography to define herself.
Absolutely. We often think of her paintings, but her relationship with the camera was just as powerful, maybe even more so in some ways.
It's almost like she was curating her own legend, one photograph at a time. What was she trying to convey?
Exactly. It was a deliberate act of self-construction, a way of reclaiming her body and her narrative.
So, how did Frida Kahlo use photography to shape her identity?
Well, first, it's important to understand her physical struggles. She had polio as a child and then a devastating bus accident. Photography allowed her to freeze her image, to control how the world saw her, despite the pain and fragmentation she experienced.
So, it was a way of taking control, of not being defined solely by her physical ailments?
Precisely. She transitioned from being a passive subject of medical scrutiny to an active creator of her own myth.
And her father, Guillermo Kahlo, played a significant role in this, didn't he?
Absolutely. He was a professional photographer specializing in architecture and self-portraiture. Frida learned from him how to hold a gaze, how to use lighting and framing to create a specific effect.
So she understood that a photograph wasn't just a snapshot, but a tool for expression?
Exactly. She understood its power for political and cultural expression. That's why she chose to wear elaborate Tawana dresses, traditional jewelry, and braided hair in photographs.
The Tawana dresses were a statement, aren't they? A way of asserting her identity.
Yes, it was a calculated performance of Mexicanidad, a way of asserting her Mexican identity during a period of post-revolutionary cultural reconstruction, even though in reality she was a sophisticated urbanite.
The article mentions Nicolas Marais and his color carbon prints. How did his work contribute to Frida's image?
Marais' portraits are incredible. They captured the vibrant, exotic public image of Kahlo that persists today. The depth of the carbon process really caught the vibration of her culture.
It's interesting that she chose the clothes and jewelry for those portraits.
Yes, she insisted on looking straight into the camera. She was very deliberate about how she wanted to be seen.
The article also mentions that Frida hired a permanent photographer after she married Diego Rivera.
Yes, she wanted to document their lives. It didn't quite turn out as she planned because of Diego's infidelities, but several photographers were hired over the years, creating thousands of photos.
And one of those photographers was Lola Alvarez Bravo.
Yes, Lola Alvarez Bravo took photos with great care. She even photographed Frida posing for Diego's murals and captured Frida's final moments.
So Lola Alvarez Bravo had a unique perspective, capturing both Frida the artist and Frida the woman.
Absolutely. She captured the raw emotion and vulnerability that Frida often tried to conceal in her self-constructed image.
The article mentions Frida's final diary entry: "I hope the exit is joyful, and I hope never to return." It's a poignant and somewhat ambiguous statement.
It is. It speaks to her pain and her desire for release, but also to her enduring spirit.
So what is Frida Kahlo's legacy in terms of photography?
She showed us how photography can be used to construct and control one's own image, to challenge societal norms, and to assert one's identity in the face of adversity.
It's a powerful message, especially in today's world where we're constantly bombarded with images and expectations.
Exactly. Frida Kahlo's story reminds us of the importance of self-representation, of taking control of our own narrative.
In a way, she was a proto-influencer, carefully crafting her image for the world to see.
That's a great way to put it. She understood the power of visual communication long before social media existed.
Why do you think Frida Kahlo's image continues to resonate with people today?
Because she was authentic. She embraced her flaws, her pain, and her culture. She wasn't afraid to be herself, and that's something that people admire and connect with.
So beyond the paintings, Frida Kahlo's photographs offer a powerful glimpse into a woman who was determined to define herself on her own terms.
Absolutely. It's a story of resilience, self-expression, and the power of visual storytelling.